Hi guys, welcome back to Wine Mastery. We are going to taste an icon of the wine world. I haven't tasted this wine before, I don't know why, but I haven't actually tasted this wine before, but I've heard it. Whoa!
I'm terribly sorry, John. I don't know where that came from. I must apologise.
I think it's as soon as I said icon. Well, icon. I think you got all overcome by that.
I must have done. Yeah, the excitement suddenly had to thrown out of me in where the sneeze. Sorry,
thrown out of you, literally.
You must carry on, John. Sorry.
So this particular wine is called Cloudy Bay. I'm sure that's a name you've heard of. I think it is iconic. I mean, it is so popular.
Yeah.
I think you were saying in the days you used to sell it, it used to be very limited.
Oh yeah, we were limited. We had 12 bottles we were allowed allocated every year. I mean, obviously we had lists of people who were just desperate to get their hands on one of these. And I remember I was a young man. I was just first starting out, but I remember people were coming up and offering like double the money just for a bottle because it had a cult following.
Right. Well, and we're going to taste it now. So we're going to look at the colour to begin with, but as I say, I am so excited about this iconic wine. Let's get to it. I can't wait.
It is definitely iconic, John. It's got a cult following. People come from far and wide to get hold of it. I say back in the day, people used to offer us double the money for it, and it starts off in the restaurants really. And this is one of the few wines that made it from the restaurant to the kind of retail, because a lot of the time there's two different lists there, so this might seem expensive in the restaurant and so you might get a bit cheap in retail, and they didn't want you to know that, so a lot of the wines they wouldn't do that, but Cloudy Bay they were one of the first ones to do it, and rightly so colour, I didn't even have a
look at the colour. It's all like hay, isn't it, but it's very bright.
Yeah. That's the word, John. Bright. It's really standing out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like lemon.
Yeah.
Now,
have you shown it to the guys?
I did indeed.
No, I missed that. I was so entrenched in my
on the ball, John. On the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you must have a go on the nose.
Okay. Oh wow.
That's special, isn't it?
Oh. Yeah, it's not like it's too much. It's like, I'm not saying, horrible. It's, and sometimes when it's very potent, you can go there, just stand back. But no, it actually...
Oh, what's he got in there, those?
Passion fruit,
yeah. So passion fruit.
Cut grass.
Elderflower.
Yeah.
This has got... It's even got a bit of like lime or lemon in there as well. It's there's so much going on in there. It even smells a bit creamy, and that's
funny. Just as you were saying,
You don't generally get that from a Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, I nearly tasted that.
I saw it at the corner. I saw that. But
I just couldn't. It's just a natural.
But it's hard to resist that, isn't it? Everything you're getting on the nose. Right, let's have a go.
That's delicious.
That's special.
Very special. That is delicious. So well balanced. So the flavour is full. The acidity on the edge, but not anywhere near over the top.
No. That for me has a really soft finish, usually with the Sauvignon. I mean, it's quite obviously a Sauvignon and it shows that really well. But it doesn't have that really harsh acidity at the end. Like you said, the acidity sits well, but for me, that really appeals like that soft, like buffering at the end. But the flavour, as I'm talking to you, that is that. Now, sometimes you wonder why these things get a cult following, or why they're so popular. There's no question why that is.
Yeah, sometimes wines just get a following because they're fashionable, not necessarily because they're good.
Yes.
But this has stood. I mean, I can remember 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Cloudy Bay, and it's still been consistent every year.
Yep, still a hard hitter. And to be fair, back then, I don't think it's any more expensive than it was back then. If you're paying 25, 30 quid then. What, 26 pounds? Now, for me, this is more, this is... Yes, it's delicious. You can enjoy it, but this is what I would say wine is about. This is an experience. From the nose, everything on the nose there comes through on the palate. Excellent. But the actual flavours I'm enjoying so much as well. This is. I could quite happily just go in the next room now and just sit and sit with that and think. This is the kind of thing. I think I've expressed this before with other wines, where. I love my friends, all of you, mostly. But some of them really they're not into wine, and that's fine if you're not into wine. And I can sometimes waste wine on them. This is the kind of thing where I would be, I'd be quite selfish and keep this to myself.
I was going to say that. I mean, it's £26. I mean, I wouldn't be sort of dishing it out at a party anyway at £26. But even with friends, you know, I would be careful about who I gave this to, because there's no point, you know, if someone doesn't particularly like wines, you know, giving them wine that's expensive, because they're not going to appreciate it. However, I would be, you know, if I knew someone liked wine, was really interested in wine, and especially if they like Sauvignon Blanc, I'd be really pleased to get this out and say, try this. You know?
Yeah. You'd want to introduce someone to. Did someone say this thing that you found and you want to share that with the with the rightful? I mean, even now that flavour's coming. Like there is something at the back there. I don't know if it is the sweetness of the passion fruit or something, because you get just smelling it, you can get those definite differences. Everything, it's making me dribble a bit. Is that? But everything in there, is apparent. You're not fighting to find anything, but it's not in your face like, I'll take that.
It's always to me as well. It's just crossed my mind is that all of the Sauvignon Blancs that we've tasted before, probably about 60 or 70% of them, if I tasted them, if we were now to taste them going forward, I'd probably have a lower mark, because now I've got a new benchmark. Yeah.
You've always got to be careful of that, because what we are doing, I know what you mean, that because it's going to take a lot to beat that, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you know, having said that, it is £26 a bottle. And a lot of Sauvignon Blancs are £8 a bottle, and you have to say, well, okay, you know, you get what you pay for.
I think the only way to beat that is if it is much less. Because that is a top dog, and now you understand why it's got that cult following. That is definitely top dog. So the only way to beat that would be to be much cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, you could, and I guess it's like a lot of things that when you start, you know, to make an incremental difference on this, you'd probably be talking about spending twice as much, you know, to make a noticeable, discernible difference.
And that's even if that worked, I don't know.
Yeah. And then, of course, it's down to personal taste buds.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, you know, universally between you and I, that immediately has so much likability that, you know, I'm sure everyone, it's one of those ones you'd be really confident that people.
Yeah, you'd be not only really you'd be really proud. You'd be really proud to be serving that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to give that to anybody and they didn't go, wow, you know, if they didn't wow, cut them out of your life, you know. I'm only kidding.
But no, they don't like wine, or they're not into wine.
No.
Well, having said that, I mean, you know, it doesn't matter, does it? If they're, you know, that's not their baby, that's not their baby. So, you know, we all have different tastes, but that is delicious. Wow.
That is something I could drink all day long.
Yeah. £26.
Oh, I couldn't afford to drink it all day long, but I would.
So if someone else was paying.
Yeah, if someone else was paying every day of the week.
Every day of the week, yeah.
Wouldn't that be?
Okay, well, shall we move on to pairings?
Let's do it, John. Do
you know what you want?
I do.
Okay, you go for it.
I know immediately. It's cliche, but it has to be a goat's milk, and I'm thinking two different goat's milk. The first one would be, it would be the stereotypical goat's log, which does have that kind of soapy, goaty flavour and the acidity in there, because that wine would just give it a little thrash. You know, and get it into shape, and it would just pull everything good out of the goat's cheese that you wanted and take all the rest out. And those two together, I think, were beautiful. And as a second one, I'm going to throw in a goat's milk brie. Again, it has to be goat's milk. I always think with Sauvignon, goat's milk is the best. And the goat's milk brie is a little more subtle, more like double cream, but with that like goaty edge, which I'm happy with. Or I'd pair it with nothing and sit in a room on my own with it.
Really?
Yeah. That is my pairing, John.
Okay, well, like you, in terms of food, I don't think it needs food. It could be just enjoyed on its own. It doesn't need food. If I was to try and pair this with, I think that smoked salmon with a little bit of drizzle of, and a little bit of salad on the side, a little bit of drizzle of lemon on top. Or some cod that's actually been grilled and maybe in some salt, and so nice flaky white meat cod, or maybe even it's probably got just enough acidity to coat with a sole morinaire with in the butter sauce. So a fish dish for sure, absolutely.
See, these are the kind of wines that make I don't know, make me happy. They make me happy.
absolutely,
And like you said, the
Shrimps, prawns.
the pairings that I do. But you can understand if when you get these all things all together. I've said it before, when you get all this into how delicious it all is and how that's tantalating your taste buds and you go on to that and you're like, oh, delicious.
Yeah.
It's what life is for.
It's what life is for. Yeah, absolutely.
Diane, that was a...
Yes, thank you very much, Diane. Absolutely beautiful, just like you. Excellent, excellent. Really, really superb.
You smooth talker, you. Well done, though. So
we're going to go move on to scoring.
Oof, now.
So I have to consider the £26. And I'm going to take a last sip before I do this.
I also think that's completely fair. You have to consider the £26 because this isn't everyday drinking. Well, not for me. But if I did have that, then... But I've still got to be fair with this. This is probably the nicest Sauvignon I have tried recently. Yeah, ticks all the boxes for me. The flavour's there, the nose there. Prepare it all, it's nice and soft on the finish. Delicious length. So it's got to be at least...
Okay, I'm going to go 91.
I went 95.
Okay.
And I think it deserved...
95, wow, I don't think you've ever scored that high.
I think the only thing pulling me back was the price, but even then I was like, nah, it's £26.
I know, well, I think probably, price is... I'm more sensitive to price.
You are definitely more sensitive to price. But if you were looking at, let's say you went to the pub with your friends and you're having a couple of pints, a round or two.
Taking your point from earlier, if you went in a restaurant for £26, you're going to get a very average bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And rather than go speak to your friends, you could just take home with a bottle of that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think that's got to be in the top, certainly in the top 90%. Well, we scored it in the top 90%, but in terms of the wines that we've tasted, and for Sauvignon Blanc, I have to say. For a Sauvignon Blanc, I have to say that's the nicest Sauvignon Blanc I've ever tasted.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Just wish it wasn't 26 quid.
Yeah, but that's why it is £26.
True. And I think that another thing to say is actually if I'd been poured a glass of that and I was told it was 40, as a guest, and someone had told me it was 40 quid a bottle, I think I couldn't afford that, but actually, I understand. It's a high quality wine. Yeah,
and I think it's with that price at £26. Like you said, if someone said a few quid more than that, I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah,
I would not disagree with that.
Yeah, excellent, guys. If you can afford it, give this one a try. Let us know below in the comments what you think of it. If you get a chance, subscribe to our channel, give us the thumbs up. Hopefully that will help other people find the channel and discover the wonderful, the fulfilling world of wine. Until the next time, guys, we look forward to seeing you there after we finish this bottle, I think. Until the next time, chin chin.
Chin chin.